Welcome everybody to Matt Bajerski YouTube channel. Getting some pretty phenomenal offers to do some radio shows and had some TV as well, but not really for me. Turned down quite a lot this past few months. Not really bothered about stuff like that. But I tell you what, it's fascinating because one of the conversations we're having right now, especially in this moment of time of some people call Great Awakening. I don't know what you want to call it, but just at this moment in time, the most important subject for me is energy, and anything to do with energy, energetic frequencies, anything that will help me become stronger, and so that I sleep well on a night, that I can get through the day in this soup of radiation, in this poisoning of the non-foods around us and so on. All of the things that are happening right now is a deliberate, all by design attack on the human physical, spiritual, and the emotional. So right now, when I talk about my work, which is predominantly the spiritual aspect of how to keep our bodies as balanced as possible, by way of spiritual tools, tools being Mother Nature's tools, nothing out weird, just spiritual Mother Nature grown tools, and one of them is crystals. So the discussion today with this company asking me, can we do a topic on the number one crystal in the world that you believe right now is the most powerful crystal in the world. They laughed and they said, probably going to say Moldavite because you do a lot of Moldavite. And I said, I do a lot of Moldavite, and I do believe Moldavite is extremely important now. But I think the most important thing now is to keep our body balanced and healthy. And the only way to do that is a crystal that keeps the body in a good state. What I mean by that is that we are attacked on so many levels that there has to be a crystal that ultimately works on all levels to keep yourself well and your body balanced well. And of course, I've been working with crystals now for years and years, and some crystals I've handled, tens of thousands. But one particular crystal that it's always been there, always, throughout the whole of my 2 decades working. It's always been around my neck one week or another. Sometimes it's around my neck for months and months. And this particular crystal I've handled probably over 300,000 or 400,000 pieces in my time easily. I've handled many thousands and thousands of Moldavites, but this crystal that I'm going to talk about today with you guys, a lot of you will already know I've talked about it, but I think it needs more introduction to people that don't know about it. So hopefully you can share this video with people who are struggling. I'm going to explain why I believe this crystal is without doubt at this moment in time the crystal that we should all be wearing as just part of our everyday putting our socks on and shoes. So I've got a piece on, and normally I've got a backache today, a little bit of back pain. And I believe that's not because of back pain. I believe it's because of certain circumstances that have led to a negative energy sitting on my back, and that needs to be clean and cleansed. So I put this on, and it's fairly long, and I like to keep this crystal down quite down by the belly button, so it clears all of that, which I believe many healers and people who do the work, many people who work with general public, they kind of suffer roundabout at the back here. So I've always said leave this crystal below. So the crystal I'm talking about is a meteorite, and it's a meteorite with a slight difference than any other meteorite or any other crystal for that matter. So yeah, take a look at it. It's nothing special. It doesn't look special. I love it. It's special to me, but if you're looking at it now, you're like, what is it? Is it lava stone? No, it's not. It's Tektite, and you can get Tektite all over Asia, and it's not that expensive, so you can get it from anywhere, depending on what grade you get. So This is my last batch. I'll show you. This is kind of a lower grade because it's not as perfect in colour. But then you get to like this one, which is a higher grade, and you can see it's more clean and just it's beautiful. So some are like a kind of really mucky looking because of where they come from, and sometimes you can't get that colour out because they are kind of glass, because that's what it is. But it's not just glass. It's incredible. So let me go through some of the main aspects of this crystal, the main healing and the properties, with stories of healing through these 20 years. The first time I reckon I used this crystal on a client that made a massive impact in my life, that made me sit up and take notice, is when I was just doing a healing session on a client, and normally I would sit here, or I was at Tickle Pink upstairs then, so it was similar room but much smaller. So I'd sit here and the healing bed would be there, and the client had just had their healing session. Now, if you know anything about your aura, energy, chi, life force, it kind of settles after a healing session. If you're a healer, you'll know this. It settles and it's clean and it's nice. It's just nice. It's like a pond, no ripples. It's just nice. The fragments of your, let's say, trauma sometimes are still releasing after a healing session. Only sometimes, not always. Normally it's gone by the end, but sometimes there is a residue that leaves, okay? So as I'm sat here, I had a piece of black, okay, so it was similar to this. So I carry black Tektite with me anyway, so I've always got pieces on me. So it was like this, and as the client was lying down, it was like on the heart. I believe it was on the heart to begin with, and the residue from the head, because the lady had gone through a lot of trauma, was just like going, like it was going into the heart. And like normally residue would sort of just leave and go out, leave through the window, which I had a skylight window like that, and it would just sort of disappear and go. Like, but this energy, as I was looking, was like going into the heart. I'm like, why is that energy going into that? So I got up and I thought, that's weird. So then I took the crystal, moved it to the stomach, and I started to give some energy healing, because I'm like, okay, I need to clear the residue that's just gone into her heart. And and she was asleep, so I like continued a little bit longer, and then okay, that feels okay. So I went and sat back down again. So this time I opened my eyes and I'm looking, I'm like, a heart, the residue was coming out of the heart and then going into the stomach. I'm like, this is weird. What's going on? Residue doesn't do that. So I got up and walked over and took, because I didn't put two and two together because I'm not the sharpest tool in the box. And I picked the Moldavite up, moved it, and in that healing session, something triggered. And when I moved the Tektite, the energy, the residue, moved where I put the Tektite. So I'm like, okay, this is weird. So I then began on a path to see what's going on, what is happening here. And there were many times that I would put the Tektite at the side of a client. It might have been a big, strong man, angry. I stick it at the side of his head and I start doing healing. Then I'll sit down or I'll stand back and see the residue going into the crystal. And I'm like, I've never seen this before. I've never seen residue or negative energy enter into a crystal. So I'm like, oh, I wonder if this is bad. I wonder if it didn't feel bad. felt amazing. I'm like touching quite a few of these pieces. Why I had it for at the beginning, why I had Tektite was because I thought it was black, and in my head it's going to help with grief and things like that. I really knew nothing about it. So this was all new to me when this happened. Over the months, I started testing crystals out to see if like black tourmaline would do the same and so on. And I never really got anything like that from any of them. It was more like an energy that was given out to the client, which would then eliminate, clear, or strengthen. Whereas this was actually like a vacuum cleaner. It was like the sea. It absorbs negative energy. So I started giving it away to people that I knew were going through really traumatic stuff. Where I'll give you, for instance, one great speaker who used to do speaking tours was getting very stressed and feeling the crowd's negative energy for many reasons. So I gave him a big piece and said, put it on, but wear it low down. Then there was somebody who worked in the hospital, and she was getting grief because she was fighting back with things that the politics. I gave her a piece, and so on. There was a lot of people, a lot of my clients, I was giving them away and asking them. When I met them again after maybe a month or 2 months, are you wearing the Tektite? I don't take it off. That's what everyone said. I don't take it off. I just can't, I don't feel right without it. Okay, that's a good sign. There's got to be something in that. At this time, it had been maybe a year now, and now I'm starting to understand it more and more. I work with Tektite every day. I work with clients every day. I do meditation every day. And every time it's a deep trauma or an issue, there's always a Tektite on me ready to be placed on a client, no matter what it is. It could be a trauma, it could be an attachment, it could be negative, just negative energy around them, it could be what they're eating, it could be anything. But Tektite would always seem to go on the client no matter what. So it might be a Tektite, and then I'm putting a Herkimer or a Moldavite, depending on, but there's always a Tektite, always, no matter what the circumstance, situation. It could be at the bottom of the feet, could be at the top of the crown, because we want to get the energy working as good as possible. But no matter what happened, it was always Tektite. So I come to a point now, fast forward now, 20 years on, and I don't think I can honestly say that I have never met anybody that has had a Tektite that hasn't benefited from it thus far, or they haven't told me, that they haven't said anything negative to me and said, oh, it's shit, it doesn't work. They've all said, I love it, I can't do without it, right? So that's always a good sign when somebody says, I get great benefit from it. If everybody was saying, no, I don't feel nothing from it, I don't even know why I bought it, it's like I wouldn't sell it. I just wouldn't even work with it. I like to listen to my clients, and I know myself what works for me, and I'm like, just try it. Don't think about it. Just wear it. Just wear it. Don't think about it. Just wear it. And then that's the time when I realize that it's not all about what they're thinking, or it's just, oh yeah, I've got it on and things are better and I'm not hurting anymore, and I'm not, things aren't as bad, and it's not as explosive or traumatizing, or I don't feel the grief as much, or it doesn't matter what it is. So I guess why I'm saying and making this video is because, you know, if my daughter had come to me now, right, I'd get, and she said, oh, my dad, guess what, things so much bad, I'd get a Tektite out right away and say, wear this. That'd be the first thing I'd say, wear the Tektite, just keep it on, darling. So I do that for the people that I love closest. So it's not like I'm just saying it. I'm saying it because not just my clients, but me. If I'm having a bad day, I've just taken this off, and hey ho, Tektite with Moldavite. But the reason why I took it off and just put the Tektite on is because it's Tektite that I believe right now is probably the most important thing to wear. Going through the madness that we live in, going through the toxic soup that's around us every day, going through, I mean, every time I don't have my Tektite on, something kicks off, something happens, I feel something, I don't feel too good. When I'm wearing my Tektite, through the night I sleep with it, feel great, sleep well, everything's okay. Any worries and traumas that I've been through, I'm all right, I get by, I get through, it's not as painful. Navigating with Tektite is far more easier than with nothing. So, as a healer, if you would say to me, okay, Mark, sounds great, but what is it? What does it? Why? I don't have the answer to the why, but I do know this: that I have seen more trauma absorbed, more physical issues absorbed, more real stubborn blocks that weren't even recognized. Energy memory, which is toxic, that wasn't recognized, that is now free, is gone, is cleared. Than any other crystal that I've worked with. This is the crystal. Now, it comes from all over the place, but I like it from Vietnam. I like it from, I guess Vietnam now is my favorite. I absolutely love it. But all Tektite, no matter if it's dirty or lovely and clean, it does the job. Where it came from, what that planet was, I don't know. I have never felt the same. Moldavite is different. I seem to attune more to that when I'm looking at that kind of thing. But this, to me, it's like a workhorse. It just does its job. That's all it's done. It's down here for one thing, and that is to absorb negative energy. That is my truth. This is without doubt right now, because it's not about being enlightened. It's about being protected. It's about being protected, and I don't want to go too much into things because I don't want to this to go off, but let me say, if we're looking at entity, if we're looking at demonic darkness, bad, evil energy, this is what I'd rather carry with me in a room when I'm facing somebody like that, or an energy or an entity like that, than anything else. Because I know this is an absorber of negative energy, and all of that, what I talk about, is pure evil. It's all negative, heavy, dark energy. And this is not just a protector, it's an absorber of that bad energy. So that's how I see it. Anyway, this morning, we were talking in the office, and I said to the girls, I said, what about if we do something, let's get this crystal out there for those that can't afford my crystals. Let's do 1 for 1. And we've got enough because I invest in Tektite more than anybody than I know. So there's plenty. So we've got enough for it all to go around. So let's say that today is Friday. We have 1 week, 7 days, and I honor this 7 days as my gift. If whatever Tektite on my website you buy, I will give you a free one to the same amount. So you're going to buy one, and you're going to also get another one free to give to somebody that you love. So that's it. So it doesn't matter if you spend, I have Tektites on there at 500, some really special pieces. But I'm saying I have some Tektites at like 40 euros, and that's free delivery. So, I have some at 100, some at 200. So there's a good choice. And I think it's a good price now, that getting an extra one to give to somebody else, that would be my gift. Okay, so I will attune. You can just scroll down. When you feel the right one, you click on it, you buy it, and then I'll go to the office tomorrow and the next day. For the next 7 days, I'll go in the morning, and every time one has been purchased, I'll go through the drawers and pick one out as a gift. Okay? So you won't see on the website saying special offer or anything. It's just this. If you go and buy a Tektite from my website, I will give you one free to the same equal amount, if not more. Let's see, okay? And that goes for whether it's a beautiful pendant made in Bali, or whether it's a beautiful holding piece, or whether it's a dumbbell, which are far more expensive, or I don't know, there might be a swan neck available, I don't know, but you know, whatever, I'll get you an equal one to the same amount, okay? That's it. So go down to your local crystal store and support them and ask them for a piece of Tektite and give it a try. It might just surprise you, and more so, it might just change your life. It's a good time. It really is. All right. Have a great day. Take care.